Yeah, you coming to the shoot today? Yeah, 4 o'clock. You're in Toronto. Yeah. Blue Jays are a good team. Well, hope you're having fun. Yeah, just be Justin and I for the intro, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, peace, man. Juddy. What's up, man? Yeah, you're tied up with UPEI? Yeah, I got that fancy new job now. Alright. Well, yeah. No, I'll think of something. No, I won't forget the ad read. It's not season 2 anymore, man. Alright, man. Alright. Talk to you later, dude. Alright. Peace. Wasn't expecting you to be here. Anyway, thanks to Hunter's Ale House for sponsoring season 3. Yeah, get down there for the big games, the big screens, the big meal deals, nice cold bevies. Anyway, later on we'll have Emily Duffy, USPORTS Player of the Week, AUS Player of the Week, UPEI Rugby Player of the Week, an Athlete of the Week, I should say. Yeah. Should be a good one. But for right now, obviously, my co-hosts are incapacitated. So I think the best thing to do is just send you on to Emily Duffy. Right about now. And we're back with Emily Duffy, third year of eligibility here at UPEI from St. John, New Brunswick. Emily, good to have you on the show.
I mean, you're forgetting the biggest part about what just happened.
USPORTS Player of the Week. UPEI is now the team to beat in the AUS. And maybe even across Canada. Nationally ranked at 9 last week. We'll see where you're at this week. That top 5 is powerful.
I would imagine it's going to be top 5, but
hopefully.
Well,
yeah. I'll take forever.
Yeah.
It's going to be higher than 9.
Oh,
considering
yeah.
Acadia.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get to that top 5 later because I think that's going to be a heated debate. But let's take it back to the beginning. When did rugby enter your life?
It was grade 11 for me, where I played like 8 sports throughout high school. I did everything like musical, all that kind of stuff. And then it was track that got me interested, where they saw me during the athletic awards for track, and they were like, okay, she's a big girl and she can run, we want her over here. So it really started grade 11, then played provincial from there. And then grade 12, I was asked to go to try out for Team Canada. So that was amazing. It's for the U18. Fortunately didn't make it, but now I'm at UPEI, and I've been here for 4 years now.
Yeah, well, those U18 camps probably gave you a lot of knowledge, to say the least.
Completely.
Especially starting in grade 11, which is kind of considered a somewhat late start.
I would say it's late. Like,
yeah.
If usually when you start a sport, and like, I would say you're good in the sport, it's when you're young and then you just continue to grow all the way up. Considering you didn't start playing rugby till what, 17?
Yep, 16, 17.
16, 17, that's incredible that you're like already being asked by Team Canada to try out.
Yeah.
First of all.
What'd you run on track?
I did 100 meter, 200 meter, and high jump.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
So when did it become clear that, you kind of had to just focus on rugby?
It was really, I had to make the decision of what I was going to do in university because I wanted to do something. And cheerleading and rugby were my main 2 sports. And you can't go further with cheerleading other than collegiate, which is, or not collegiate, but like university.
Yeah.
There's no like Team Canada team or something like that. And I knew that with the new sport coming in, rugby, like for me personally, I was like, okay, I need to see how far I can take this. Because I've gotten far with every other sport. And I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. And then rugby came around the corner, and I was like, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, well, you didn't just focus on rugby. You're now cheerleading at UPEI, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to have a little fun.
Yeah.
Well, rugby's fun, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Not,
Club versus
not,
varsity.
not contact sport.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
you know.
kind of, but
Well, yeah, but like you're not going out there with the intentions to
hurt people.
hurt people and put someone on the ground.
Yeah.
What I want to go to is you played 8 sports.
Mm-hmm.
Is your family very athletic? Like, or did you come from an athletic background, like where sports was kind of just the focus of the household? I would say.
A little bit, yeah. Where my dad did like football and hockey and baseball, and my mom did a little bit of dance when she was younger, but she didn't do many sports growing up. But my brother was big in sports, where like he started hockey when he was like 6, so I've been like around 5. So I went to all of his hockey events, all his baseball events, and I just watched. And then I didn't really start like my athletic really journey until I was like 8 or 9, and that was cheerleading.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely big sports.
So did you? I want to say, try football.
I did. I played football for high school.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
how was that compared to like? Is that kind of what got you into rugby? I would say, or no?
The other way around, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where I started rugby in grade 11, my grade 11 year, and then my school had a female football team,
Mm-hmm.
and then we won provincials that year, and I was got the award of like the best player for offensive for New Brunswick that year.
Mm-hmm.
So that was huge for me. But I have to admit, I really wish I would have done football earlier and rugby earlier now. But
Yeah.
gotta
For
do
sure.
both.
So with the football household and the hockey household, especially in Atlanta, Canada,
Yep.
why rugby? What main part of the sport attracted you to it?
I liked that people came from different backgrounds when it came to it, because you usually don't start rugby until like grade 8 or grade like 6 to 8, especially in New Brunswick. So I was like, okay, let me just give this a try, because I could use all my sports and kind of put it into one, like the agility of like track, but also like moving around and the contact and everything, get to try something different. With cheerleading, you need to be all like fun and sparkly and everything and like smile, and I wanted to get my anger out as well.
Yeah.
So it was a nice little mix in.
There you go.
It was nice.
So in terms of critical thinking, I would say you have to be a critical thinker in rugby as well. Which sport do you think tied into that as well,
I would say
or helped you? I should
Yeah.
say.
my volleyball probably helped me,
Okay.
because I played that all throughout middle school and high school, just like critical thinking of like when to hit the ball, when to go here, when to go there. But I feel like all of the sports really helps me, but volleyball especially with critical thinking. And then all my other sports like swimming, badminton, track and field, rugby, soccer, softball, and all the rest.
Yeah,
So helped me
Yeah.
in all of it.
for sure.
Yeah, so New Brunswick rugby is, with the Spruce at least,
Yes,
I'd say very strong.
definitely.
And which came first, Spruce or UPEI?
Spruce.
Okay.
Yeah, so I played for the U18 team for New Brunswick in grade 11 and in grade 12. And then I had to start thinking about universities. So UPEI was definitely on my list, so was X and Acadia, of course. I wanted to stay in the Maritimes, but far enough from home where I could be who I wanted to be or become who I am now. So decided to switch around a little bit.
So when did James Woy reach out to you about being a Panther?
I actually reached out to him first.
Okay.
Surprisingly. So, no, not surprisingly, you know what I mean. I reached out to him my grade 12 year, telling him I was interested, and we had a few meetings, everything like that. I did a little campus tour, nothing as big as the girls get now, of course, but had my tour, decided to chat with him a little bit more, of course chatted with the ex-coaches, but Void has piqued my interest in the way he always talked about if you're good, you're going to play, doesn't matter what year you're in. And he had a lot of good words to kind of describe what he wanted me to be instead of just what he wants the team to be. So that kind of like pushed me towards going with him.
And would you say X more so and Acadia more so focus on developing their players throughout, and then they start playing in their second, third, fourth year, and first year is kind of just a red shirt year for them?
Depending on the player, but usually, yeah. Like I've played with a lot of girls from New Brunswick who go to like X and P.E.I, or Acadia, like Annie McMullen. She's a huge, like really close friend of mine. She plays for X, but she got it in her first year. But a lot of girls don't have the chance to.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like at UPEI, if you have the skills and developmental skills and all that to play, he will put you on. It's not like she's a first year, so she won't get on at all.
Okay, well, let's we go ahead.
Well, I wanted to get into Ted Lasso. Justin, you and I have watched our fair amount of that. And there's a quote in it about dark forest in a fairy tale. And a dark forest neither comes at the beginning or end of a story. It's right in the middle. So you came into rugby at the end of the dark forest, somewhat. Or the beginning of the end of the dark forest, where it was a turnaround coming around the corner, but you were also getting beat by Acadia, 117-0.
Yeah.
So what's it been like to see that transition into the winning program that you are now?
I don't know how to describe it, to be completely honest with you. Like, from losing to them so many times and being like, going to X and being like, okay, we know we're going to lose, so might as well just have some fun and work on our skills and try to get at least a few tries in, to actually being able to compete with them and win against them. It took 4 years, of course, of hard work and determination, and just the girls really putting in all their work to get where we are. So, like, it still quite doesn't feel real to me. It feels like the shoe's going to drop at any point, but I don't want it to, of course. But it's huge. Like, the support from home and from the girls, even from X and Acadia, like, congratulating us for beating the other players in SMU, like, to even having, like, coaches from different, like, provinces that I don't even know of reach out to us and say congratulations. Actually getting our name out and show that we're not quite the underdogs anymore. We're kind of pushing through. It's huge.
So I would like to ask, I guess, what do you think is the biggest key? Was it recruiting for the past couple years? Has it been your coach putting in the time and effort with you guys? Has it been your off season, like putting in the work in the off season, getting better there? What do you feel like is the strongest part of what has turned the program from a laughingstock, I would say, to one of the best ones in the country right now?
So for me personally, I would definitely think it's the off-season training, because the girls have 6 weeks. We only have 6 weeks really of rugby, so we really put all of our hard work and determination into it. But we've really built up a good off-season plan with Owen McWilliams, our trainer, and Voy has put in relentless hours, like hours and hours upon hours, just making sure all the girls are in a good spot to be able to train. We have study hall to really make sure that we're good at being students and also athletes at the same time, and really all the girls having the determination to practice not only off season but in the summer, and also the part of recruiting girls who are also good.
Would you say hitting the gym is a big part of that for you guys?
Huge.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what kind of intensity, I would say, is like your coach putting on you guys to get into the gym during the off season? Is it mandatory basically?
Yes. Yeah, we have a code of conduct with the team, where there's like 2 yellow cards, 2 red cards in a sense, kind of as our rules, where if you don't do a certain thing, you get a yellow card and slowly move your way up, and there's consequences with each one. And the girls know how strict this code of conduct is, of course. So if you miss a gym session, if you're late to a practice, if there's anything going on within the team, if there's a fight or anything like that, it gets squashed immediately, because we're here to win and we're here to be a team. So we hold ourselves in that high regard with the rules.
So it kind of feels, if I may say so myself, it kind of feels like a professional environment, like an actual professional team.
Yeah.
Where if you are not there for practice or like a couple minutes late, like you are penalized for it.
Completely.
And that builds not only character in the team, it makes the program better, I think.
100%.
And it makes people want to actually come to UPEI and play with you guys. You did mention about the off season, how you guys play in the off season. I know you guys play a lot of rugby in the off season in competitive leagues, and not with each other, but like against each other. Yeah. And how much do you think that helps you guys as well?
Oh, that helps us tremendously. Like, we have a lot of girls from P.E.I, of course, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, so we all play against each other in that league. So to see each other's playing styles and to be able to grow with them, or see, like, I know their weaknesses throughout the playing, or throughout playing against them, I should say, it helps to really kind of figure out where we need to focus on. And we tell each other, like, oh, I went this way because I know you do this and this. So it helps the girl fully put all the tools in the toolbox that they need, and for Voy to see us on the opposite side of the field. where he's focusing on his players and to finally like be shiny and push through or do something, he's going to remember that, especially for the girls he's recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to play against the girls and everything like that is huge in that kind of sense.
Yeah, piggybacking off of that, what mental aspect goes into playing against Britton Como, Kenzie, those girls from Nova Scotia?
I absolutely adore those girls, like, of course, and Nova Scotia's a hard team to beat. I'll admit it. They're definitely our biggest competitors, other than P.E.I, who's definitely on the level with us, I'd say. But you have that feeling of, like, I need to do what I need to do for this game. This is my job to get from A to B. But also, these girls are my friends, and they're my teammates, and I do not want to hurt them.
Yeah.
So I definitely try not to hit them as hard during games, maybe more tactically to get them down.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the game...
That's very fair.
Yes.
A bit more rap instead of impact.
Yes, maybe a little more of a dump than a full drive through.
Yeah.
But no, it still is rugby, and they're not your teammates at the moment, so you still have to get the job done. Mm-hmm. But you try to do it with the most grace as possible. But sometimes it can happen. You never know.
Yeah. So we'll diverge here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about cheer, because you're pretty successful in that too. Quote me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe it's Collegiate Cheer Association.
I believe so. Yeah.
Anyway, you were placed nationally.
Yes.
In that for the first time in your history.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I didn't even know it was on the radar, personally. Our coaches didn't tell us that we were this good throughout the whole season. So a few teams did decide to drop down last minute because of COVID, and they couldn't get the routine completely right. But our team decided to push through and fully did everything, go 3-hour practices instead of 2, and to fully push through. And we didn't even really get a competition because we had to send in video, which means we could do it over and over and over again until we had it right. So that was even more exhausting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But to finally publish it or send it to the Cheer Expo Association and to win, we were all in the same room crying. We lost it. And I've been doing cheerleading now for 13 years, and that's the first time in my history I've ever won that competition either. Wow. So it's ginormous for the school. It's the first time the school's ever mentioned us on UPEI Athletics Recreation in 7 years. We finally got on the Go Panthers Go website and everything. Like, it was ginormous.
Yeah. So you're a club and a varsity athlete.
Yes.
Is there a side of you that wishes cheer was varsity? I mean, obviously so. But is it kind of nice to take the step back from rugby later on in the year and kind of just be a club athlete and more of a student?
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I wish that more of the club sports did get more kind of say and more show throughout the school.
Kind of like men's rugby.
Yeah. It's okay, I'll let you have that one. We're like, we get all the fancy merch and everything like that, and the school promotes us much more and all that kind of stuff. I wish the club teams did get that push. But I do like the step back where I just get to focus on the girls in my team. And, of course, I'm still playing rugby as well, like, throughout the off-season. Yeah. But to have the club and to be able to just have those girls and take a step back, it's definitely a breath of share.
So I'd like to recognize for a second here, I know how hard it is to be a student athlete. Not only are you playing rugby as varsity sport, you also cheer, and then you're also doing school. How hectic is your schedule?
It's definitely hectic. I also have 2 jobs. So I'm the student athletic trainer for the women's hockey team, and I also work at Panther Central.
Okay.
So on the front desk. So what's free time? What's that?
That's free, yeah.
No, but with both my jobs, they really help to work around my schedule because they know I'm a student first.
Yeah.
And
they know you're a player first.
Yes, they know my player as well. But we always have this thing on the rugby team where you're student first, athlete second. So like labs, anything like that, if it gets in the way of practice, you go to the labs.
Okay. Does
not matter. So, and it's the same way when I go in the off season, boys the exact same way. But we've made a deal with the cheer team that rugby does come first, wherever it happens. So if we have a practice on Sunday, we have cheer on Sunday, I go to rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because cheerleading is, of course, is a kind of
it's a full year or full season, like I guess full school year, I should say.
Yeah.
And rugby, you only have, like you said, 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And then the season's over.
Yeah.
So it's really just, it's a shortened football season. It's a time crunch that you have to take every game.
Yeah.
The biggest game you're gonna play because
100%.
it really is important in such a small season. Now, I think I would like to, and I think Grant maybe would like to, turn the attention to you and what you have now been accomplished or recognized for.
Yes.
And that is, not only did you win last week, we'll go over it. You won player of the game for your, not last week, the first week.
Against X.
Yes, against X, because we're filming this on Monday, and they just beat Acadia. Again, she had an amazing game in that game as well, but she was recognized for player of the game in that game, athlete of the week by UPEI, athlete of the week by AUS, and USPORTS rugby player of the week.
Yes.
It's a lot of medals.
Yes.
So, to first diverse, let's go back to what you saw during that game so it's your first game of the season.
Yep.
What made you decide or realize that I can just bully through this whole team?
2 tries.
Yeah, it's kind of been my thing. I want to say to plow through people. Boy just looks at me and he gives me that look, and I'm like, okay, it's go time. Yeah. Like, we've known each other for that long that I just know to plow through girls. And I think it's also my track experience with my sprinting and being able to plow through everything, and just doing that really does help. And I just very good at figuring out who to push off of and who to do this with, and I won't go down without a fight. I think that's the main part that really helps me to like give it all I have, no matter what happens when I have the ball. And
for sure, so you get the 2 tries against X.
Yes.
You added another one against Acadia this past weekend. Do you feel like you're able to see the field better this year than what you have in previous years?
So I feel like I can see the field better now because I have a higher rugby IQ than last year. I've definitely worked on my defensive playing and my offensive playing throughout the year, especially with Spruce. And with the training program we have, I feel like I've become more agile in what I do. And of course, I've gotten tips from Voy and from old coaches, even throughout the season, where I had a FaceTime call with one of my old coaches about what I should do better in certain scrums. So I feel like with the support I have around me, I can really do what I need to do and do what I want to do and blast with the girls. And as UPEI said it, bully them.
Yeah. So looking at, I guess, were you expecting to be AUS and USPORTS Player of the Week?
Not at all. Completely no. I was excited to be the P.E.I. one, and then I saw the AUS, and I was in class when I found out, and I was like, I can't really say anything. I have masks on. He's teaching. And then when it came to the AUS one, or the USPORT one, I didn't even know I got it. Voy didn't even know I got it. Like, no one told us. It just showed up on the page, and it was the picture there, and I didn't even see the USPORT at the bottom. I thought it was still the AUS. So I showed the girls. I'm like, look, they posted a cute picture. Like, it looks really nice. And they're like, Duffy, that's USPORT. I was like, what? And they're like, no, that says USPORT on the bottom. And I was like, holy shit. And I was like, my phone was blowing up because it happened during practice. So they posted like 4:15 and practice is 4 to 6. So I had like 30 missed calls, texts from different coaches, from my roommates, from my mom, being like, holy shit balls, please call me now. Like all this stuff. And I freaked out, and I just sat at home and ate Taco Boys the next day. I was like, I'm a USPORT athlete of the week. I didn't quite sink in until like a few days later.
Really?
UPEI Rugby brought to you by Taco Boys. Anyway, you're not just beating these teams, you're whooping these teams. I got the numbers here. You beat X 32-5. You just beat Acadia 38-5.
Mm-hmm. These are 2 teams, to be clear, these are 2 teams that kicked UPEI's ass for the past couple of years.
Yes.
Except for X last year. And these teams were very high nationally ranked over the last couple of years.
Yes.
And you guys have murdered them, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a big road trip coming up.
We do.
3 away games, starting off with St. Mary's.
Yep.
Which, how are we feeling about that one?
Feeling pretty good, of course. Even though they are the lowest ranked team in our league right now, it doesn't matter. We still have to put the same intensity that we do in for X and Acadia. We can't lower it down or rise it up, I should say. Doesn't matter who we play. We're still going to play with the same intensity and pretend like it's a championship game. So we might put some of our newer girls in, of course, so they can finally get the experience of playing a championship game, per se. But it's still going to be a game no matter what.
Yeah. Give us a final score prediction.
I want to go for 60 to maybe 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the prediction.
That's the trend. Give them one try and knock them down on the conversion. Anyway.
Because they are still a good team, and they are developing the same way we are. But we're fortunate enough to be developing maybe a little bit faster than they are. I'll give them that.
I mean, you gotta amp up your team too.
Of course, but you gotta stay humble as well. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen during this season, and I'm very fortunate for the wins we got, and we're just gonna hope for more and keep pushing.
Yeah, and then in order you have X and Acadia on the road.
Yes.
In their home.
Mm-hmm.
What are we feeling about that? I mean, you did put a whooping on them, but
you were home.
Home field advantage is a different story.
Yeah, definitely. When you're home, you definitely have the advantage of having the whole island with you, in a sense of having, like, we have the women's hockey team come watch, or the men's hockey team with the UPEI cheer team comes and watches our games, where you have your family and friends cheering for you, and then going to someone else's home turf where they have that, and especially like 7 a.m. getting up, getting on the bus to go, that can kind of affect our game. But we've done it in the past, and we're going to do it again, and we're just going to keep pushing as hard as we can, and hopefully kick their ass again.
Yeah, and then to cap off your regular season, you'll play SMU at home, which sure you're licking your chops about that one.
Yes, I'm very happy because we do have our Panther ring ceremony, which is also for the girls who have played for 4 years consecutively. Mm-hmm. So I'll be getting mine this year, and 9 other girls on the team will be getting theirs this year. So it'll be a big celebratory moment for all of us at the same time.
And I would say that when thinking about this, you got 4 games left in the regular season, and then you have your playoffs. What is, I would say, the goal for the rest of the season and going into the playoffs? Is it just to kind of maintain where you guys are at now and stay healthy for the playoffs, or is it to push and be undefeated this season?
Definitely to push. We're definitely going up, and we want to keep going up. This is not the beginning for us. Like, we have worked our asses off for the past 4 years, 5 years, and we're not just doing this for us, we're doing this to the girls in the past who've played, who've pushed us to become the rugby athletes that we are, and we really just want to keep pushing and get to the championships and hopefully win. That would be definitely our main goal for the season.
Yeah. Do you guys believe that you guys will be going to nationals here in, I would say, a month and a half, 2 months?
It's definitely in our radar, 100%. That's our goal mainly is to get to the championships, and then we'll go from there, I would say. But the USPORTS championships in Victoria, BC would definitely be a huge thing for us. We've never been, but it's definitely on our radar for things we want to accomplish.
Yeah, so that leads us to the top 5 currently, according to last week at least.
Yes.
So you have Queens, dominant program, UBC, dominant program, Laval, Ottawa, and Guelph.
Yeah.
All 5 dominant programs.
Yeah, huge programs.
Blow competition out of the water, except for themselves where they're tightly contested games.
Yes.
So what does it take to beat those teams?
It just takes the girls working together and really giving that fierce determination we have against X. Even though they are bigger teams and they have a bigger pool of people to take and they have such amazing players, we can't let this kind of pull us down like we have in the past against X maybe a few years ago, realizing that we are a good team and we're here for a reason and we've beaten these teams for a reason, and we have to just continue on that kind of feeling when we go to Laval or Queens or anything like that in the future. Yeah.
Is there one team that sticks out in your mind, like, oh, if we could beat this team, that's the victory?
UBC would definitely be a huge win if we could. They are such a dynamic team. They've had amazing players in the past and right now. So to even have a competitive game against them would be definitely a huge milestone for us.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to turn our attention to the lightning round that is new to season 3. 5 softballs.
Easy thinking.
Okay.
No controversy.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, 5 questions beginning now. Rucking or counter-rucking?
Counter-rucking.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It is sweet. Yeah. It is sweet. Okay. Playing loose head or tight head?
Tight head.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've had way more experience with it. Loose head's definitely new to me, and I'm working with the coaches, but tight head is where I belong. 100%.
It is a bit more of an even pushing.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have that.
Yeah, more stability.
All right. Lineouts or scrums?
Ooh. Right now, lineouts.
Yeah?
I really like lineouts.
Why is that?
I've been more involved with them this year, being able to switch my position, and we're getting more dynamic lineout plays this year. Other than scrums, we're just crouch by instead going through. So I think lineouts will be more fun for me.
Yeah. Are you front boosting or?
Mainly front boosting.
Okay.
So that would be probably where I'll stay too.
Yeah. And speaking of that, are you running 13-31 system, 3 pods?
We run 1-3-2-2.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a newer system coming up,
Yeah.
but it's definitely helped us improve and beat other teams.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. All right. You hit the bar after the game. We don't condone underage drinking. Drink responsibly and don't drink and drive.
Yes.
I think we covered all our bases there.
Mm-hmm.
Lone Oak or Upstreet?
Upstreet.
Okay.
Why?
Just the vibe.
Yeah.
Just the vibe.
Yeah, I don't go drinking. I don't go drinking very much. I'll admit to you.
So
A rugby
you're
player
saying
doesn't drink.
vibe. You're saying vibe, but in terms of actual drink.
Okay, low note then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that they got the seltzer, eh?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got me there.
Okay. Yeah.
But no, I don't drink very often. You'll ask any other rugby girls. I just, I didn't really start drinking until I came to university. I just was too busy throughout high school with every other sport, and I like my sleep. I like to nap after games and just eat some food and relax.
Okay.
So I guess
That was only 4 questions, Justin.
No. The only thing I was gonna say was to that. It's just very odd considering I went to the men's rugby game and everyone that's not playing is literally in a cast
Beer and
drinking.
pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's just the atmosphere. Like you'll still be like when Nicole got her 5 stitches or 10 stitches in her head. We're like, nice,
Yeah.
get it, girl. Like she
Should've
wore
gone for
headbands for the
11,
game. Yeah.
Now, who would you rather play against? Abbeys or the Celtics?
I think Celtics.
Why is that?
Because with the Abbeys, there is more of a backs game, I would say, even though they are very dominant forward, and because I'm with them, of course, when I play here. But Celtics, they have a higher up program just by one level, even though the Abbeys are an amazing team to play against. But I would say them just because I like to keep myself on my toes. I don't know the players nearly as well, so I like to see how the game goes throughout there.
Yeah. All
it's
right.
very fair.
Well, I think that does it for this episode here. Justin, you want to tell the folks where to find us?
If it's not obvious already, you can find us at YouTube and where you're probably watching this, and Spotify to listen to it audioly, and also Apple Podcasts. But our social media accounts are the official Waterboyz podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And then there's also the media account, Waterboyz_media, where we cover as much sports as we possibly can.
Including UPEI women's rugby games.
Yeah. So, in order for us to send these guys out, Grant, you have to do something.
I
And
think
it's
do.
time.